So I've been calling on her to come help me when she's not really working there, because the summer she's not that busy. So she's been coming in a couple of days a week for me. Now she used to be my curriculum and I had a title for her. She was like doing the curriculum and the assessment type person, my coordinator. So she would check on the assessments, how the portfolios look for the kids, and she would also make sure that whatever was being done on the lesson plans was being carried out. And then anything else that was spilling over from my desk, I was giving it to her. So she was like really helpful to me.
She's a loss.
She is a big, when I tell you she's a big loss.
So accreditation.
Yes, right. She was really, and then she knew Head Start. She was just a really good person. So, but she's been coming in for me. So I said, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So Miss Harris, I can come in a couple of days a week. So I might manage to get her. If she can come in 2 or 3 days, that's perfect for me. So that's what we have here at Broad Castle.
Okay.
And then you got me.
Well, you're everything.
Yeah, I'm it.
If we could look at another resource, that would be your parents. How important are the parents in terms of their relationship to the school? In terms of, you talked about that's why I asked you if that parent secretary / secretary, if she was being paid or whether she was getting free tuition for her children. Are there any other services or needs that you ask of the parents? Before Katrina, yes, I could have asked a lot of things. I'm finding that after Katrina, grant you, we didn't open again. We were closed for a whole year after Katrina. We didn't reopen until October 2006. So it took a whole year just to get back, because we only did one classroom at a time. So we didn't even open up the whole center. This is our really first year with everything going back. In fact, this is our first graduation after Katrina. So with the Head Start, they do require the parents to do certain things, but I just became a partner in September, not knowing everything. So I think. But Head Start aside, I realize you just.
Okay, well, Head Start aside. Okay, we do have. We did have like a grandparents group, and we did have like a little parents group, but it wasn't as functional as it could be.
This is before Katrina.
No, this is.
This is now. Okay.
Oh, before Katrina, we had a pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
but
now.
We have a little grandparents group, and in fact we even elected like a little president and a vice president for the parents and the grandparents, but it's not as functional as it could be, and I'm gonna blame myself on that, because I didn't have the time to really devote to sitting there with the parents to explain, or the grandparents to explain to them what we really need them to help us with. And so sometimes when the parents did come in, they volunteer. Like if we had functions going on, they would volunteer for that. We had some parents bring supplies in, or they'll go and visit it, they'll go and read to the kids in the classroom or help out in the classroom. We had that go on, and in fact we had what's called Royal Wall.
What was it called?
A Royal Wall. And every time they volunteer, we put little crowns up showing that they put so many out. So we did have that going on, but it could have been better. But I think I was just so swamped with so much stuff going on, I just couldn't manage all that. Yeah, and then I had the lady I was telling you about. She did help me with some things, but we just had a lot we were trying to do, because we didn't even have all the equipment here. We were trying to still order stuff. It was just it was too much.
So you value the relationship.
Oh, I do.
But you still needed someone to help supervise. And,
I
give them jobs to do.
But sometimes they would come and ask Miss Harris, you need something, but I really couldn't tell them what I needed, because I had so much that was going on. So I think this school year I have a better sense of what I'm doing now, and I think I could kind of come up with some things.
Were they helpful in terms of reopening the school? Is that
the parents?
That you
no, the parents had nothing to do with the reopening. In fact, it was me sitting here all the time, because a lot of the parents I didn't get back. A lot of my parents who were here, we got some of the parents back after we opened and things were rolling, but a lot of people weren't here. We were getting a lot of new families. So no.
What percentage of your former parent families do you think came back?
I know for. I
can't. It was 10%, or do you think it was?
I'll say
less
10.
Than 50. Okay.
It's less than 10%. Less than 10%. Most of them, because some of the kids had aged out and stuff like that. But I did get a few of my families back.
Yeah, so I mean, you're reestablishing relationships with new families.
Right.
Families, you're rebuilding trust with them.
Right, all of
children
that.
all over again.
And then now, granted, what has happened now, a lot of the families that are here knew somebody that used to come here.
Okay.
Now that I can tell you, you know, because we hadn't even advertised yet. It's been mostly word of mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, my so and so used to come here or whatever. That's pretty much how we've been getting families here.
And the families bring their children here mostly by their own personal automobiles
Yes.
they can get here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually automobiles is how most of the kids get here. We have a few parents that do walk here, but most of the kids that attend here, you know, dropped off by their parents.
Okay. That was one thing that struck me about when we were visiting at Happy Times, that many of the children got there either using public transportation or they walked there. So when the public transportation was up and running, you know, it was, you know, spotty the way they would show up, and so the director never had a handle on how many children would be at his site for a while when he first opened every day. They just never had. And many of the families didn't. Did you find this to be true? Many of the families didn't even have a communicative system in place. They didn't have telephones that were operable. They couldn't afford cell phones. And so when the children were dropped off, there was no way for the director to even contact them. Did you find that there were some of those same kind of issues, or was it different?
It was different because, like I said, most of my parents were either working in this area, so they came to drop their kids off, and then most of them did have cell phones. I found out a lot of them got their phones after the storm. They made sure they went and got cell phones, and then some of them had these phones that were provided by FEMA. Some kind. So they
were limited.
So, but they had most of them had some way of communicating with us. So I think we were a little different in that sense.
It's different because you said most of them had jobs.
Most of them.
Were families already came back to work, and they had phones at least in their place of business.
Exactly. The only person that didn't have a phone, we didn't have a phone here. We had to use my cell phone because we could never get Bell South to get anything hooked up. So we didn't have a phone. I had to use a cell phone. So the school
is that your personal cell phone too?
Yes, that became personal cell phone / Royal Castle phone. Because that was the only way we could communicate.
Keep in touch. But
we had problems when we first.
These are really wonderful. Thank you. These are stories that really tell the whole picture, the big picture, of not just you wanting to serve. You know, you wanting to rebuild your school, but you serving the community. You know. I guess my next question back to staff is, you had said that many of them are working on their CDA. Are there any of your staff that have Louisiana state certification?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is that something that's required of the preschools in the?
No, it's not required.
Okay,
I mean, one of the things, because the state has implemented the Quality Start program, where they did. So since they've done that, most of the people that work at a child care center should at least have a high school diploma. Now, they should at least have that. One time you didn't have to have a high school diploma. And then now it's moving towards, you know, most people should have at least a CDA. Okay. And then anything higher than that would be great.
Okay. And so, obviously that's your goal, to have all of your staff earn their CDA.
What I've been doing, I want to say this. I've kind of changed the way I'm hiring over here. I really